Hey, it's Leo. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing the mid-year freakout tag, probably one of the last people to do it. Thanks to Bob the Bookerer for tagging me in this. Looking forward to answering these questions. Each week I lift up a nonprofit that's doing good in the world and I will make a donation, and I encourage you to like, follow, or donate as you are inspired. I've been thinking about this practice and whether or not it's performative or helpful or fill in the blank, and open to critique about it. I also think that for me, when I look around the world and I see a whole lot of bad shit happening, I find hope and strength in the courage and determination and the will of other people to make a positive difference in the world, and I'm grateful for that. And so I lift them up as a way for me to remember that there are good people in the world, and maybe that can be helpful for you too, and maybe we can join them in the work they're doing. This week, I wanted to lift up the Positive Women's Network, formed 13 years ago, founded by women living with HIV and their allies as a way to combine their strategic power to make life better for women living with HIV in the United States. I'll make a donation and I encourage you to check out the links below. Before we get to the mid-year freakout tag, I also wanted to quickly cover the stats of what I've read so far in 2021. My goal is 100 books. I'm 3 books behind, I believe, and I'm currently at 49 books. I'm hoping that I can catch up, and I think I'll get there. Most of what I've read is fiction. The genre I've read the most of is mystery. I was hoping that Storygraph would give me like statistics on diversity of authors that I've read, but I'm just switching from Goodreads to Storygraph and I haven't figured that out yet. So if any of you have any advice on Storygraph or thoughts on Goodreads versus Storygraph, please let me know in the comments below. Question 1, the best book you've read so far in 2021. Okay, I know I've talked a lot in this channel about Amari and the Night Brothers and The House in the Cerulean Sea. I might have one that is gonna knock those to second and third place on my best books of 2021. I'm still 2 hours away on the audiobook from finishing it. But so far, I am loving The Master of Djinn by P. Djèlí Clark. It is a fantasy, mystery, adventure set in 1912 Cairo. There are Djinn, there's queer representation, there's great conversations about race, gender, and class dynamics, and also just a really fun adventure with our protagonist, Fatma. Agent Fatma is called in to solve the murder of an English nobleman who lives in Cairo, and there's just so many twists and turns and things we discover about this world. The world building is great. I love the character development and the dynamic relationship between Fatma and her new partner and her Fatma's girlfriend, and then the other members of both the police force and the ministry of the magical things. There have just been several times where I've just laughed out loud on some good dialogue and some great characters. So that is going to be my vote for my best book of 2021. Number 2, best sequel I've read so far in 2021. That goes to The Whispering Skull by Jonathan Stroud, the second book in the Lockwood & Co. series. I've also read book 3. I will say that I preferred book 2 over book 3. In book 3, there was the trope of like the new girl gets all of the attention and the current girl gets really jealous, and that impacts the dynamics, and I just wasn't into that part of the story. And from the synopsis, it looks like that is maybe going to continue to play out in book 4, which bums me out. But book 2 I really enjoyed. There was great adventure, great comedy, and great characters. I also have only read like 3 sequels in 2021, so it was hard there weren't a lot to choose from for this category. But I feel pretty good about answering The Whispering Skull and recommending that. And if you've read book 3, and especially if you've read book 4 in this series, like tell me what you think, and did you get that same vibe that I did? Question 3 is for a new release that I haven't read yet, but that I want to, and I'm going to answer 3 books for this. The first is The United States of Grace by Lenny Duncan, a memoir of homelessness, addiction, incarceration, and hope. Lenny Duncan is a pastor in the ELCA, the Lutheran Church here in America. He's a queer Black man who has been a public theologian and actually now has a post in public theology at one of our seminaries and has a lot to say. I read his first book, Dear Church, and I led some conversations with it, as well as co-hosted the book tour event, which was really good. So I look forward to reading The United States of Grace. It's currently, I've loaned it to my mother, so I don't have it in my possession yet. Another of my most anticipated reads, which I don't know a lot about other than I saw it advertised and the title looks really good. This is Professional Troublemaker, The Fear Fighter Manual by Leigh Ajaya Jones. This is supposed to be a transformational book about how to tackle fear, that everlasting hater, and audaciously step into lives, careers, and legacies that go beyond even our wildest dreams. The third most anticipated book for 2021 is Arsenic and Adobo, which is a murder mystery that just came out this year. So I don't have it yet, but looking forward to reading that one as well. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have two. The first is Baptized in Tear Gas by Elle Dowd. The subtitle is From White Moderate to Abolitionist. She's also a candidate to be a pastor in the ELCA, and she describes her journey from going from a well-meaning liberal to a courthouse occupying with an arrest record, fighting for justice and abolition, and what that journey looks like. So that I am looking forward to that as well. Second most anticipated release of 2021 is actually from a booktuber that I follow, Jean's Bookish Thoughts. And her book, her new book is The Flames of Albion, which has been described as hope punk, which sounds great. It's got queer representation, it has dragons, I believe kind of challenges the concept of a fantasy not needing to be set in a patriarchy or a monarchy, something like that. So I'll actually link to her video describing her book because she'll do a better job than I will, and I'm looking forward to that as well for 2021. My biggest disappointment for 2021, I have kind of two categories. The first was 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. I thought that was just going to be a really great thriller. The two pieces that disappointed me about it were the fact that he spoils 8 other murder mysteries that are like real stories, books, or movies out in the world. That felt like unnecessary. And then the second thing that disappointed me in it was that just like towards the end, I don't know. I just felt like it was a disappointment. The bigger disappointment that I have for 2021 is when I, come across new releases or, fairly new books that still have transphobic or ableist language or unchecked racism. I'm just like, come on, authors, we can do better. Like, why do we need to do this to our communities? That's my biggest disappointment. And I know that I have blind spots. I'm sure that I'm gonna make mistakes and that I hope that I'll get corrected on them, and I hope I'll have a chance to amend that, but that's my answer to that question. Number 6, the biggest surprise. This one, on the other hand, the trans representation in the Vanishing half it was so good, and it wasn't a big character. It wasn't a completely minor character, but I just really felt like it was done sensitively and smartly, and I liked the character. It wasn't a tragic character. Yeah, so that was a really pleasant surprise. So favorite new author or new to me, I'm gonna list 3. I wanna check out more of T.J. Klune. He wrote The House on the Cerulean Sea. I've read 2 books this year by Alyssa Cole and really enjoyed both of those. So wanna check out more of her. I really liked Sujata Masi and her writing in Malabar, The Widows of Malabar Hill. She's going to be on my watch list of one of my potentially new favorite authors of 2021. And then also P. Djèlí Clark, who is of The Master of Djinn, which I described for my best book of 2021 choice. My newest fictional crush. I don't know that I've come up with one. Well, as a bisexual, I have crushes on people of my gender and other genders. So there's a whole wide variety of options here. I don't often get a lot of crushes on people in books. Anyway, maybe soon. Maybe the second half of 2021 will bring all the fictional crushes my way. My newest favorite characters: Linus from The House in Cerulean Sea, Kaz, Inej, and Jesper from 6 of Crows, Lillian Pentecost from Fortune Favors the Dead, Praveen Mystery, and Agent Fatma from The Widows of Malabar Hill and The Master of Djinn. That's probably a good start. Books that made me cry. I don't think anything made me cry this year. I read some nonfiction that really broke my heart when I just learned more about the ways that we've treated other people, particularly racism in our country. So The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson definitely broke my heart. That was really powerful. I definitely recommend that you read that one. Books that made me happy. So The Bush Still Burns, and also Lessons Learned by Arnie Graff, both about community organizing. One more a personal journey from a pastor's perspective by Pastor Terry Allen Moe, and then the other from the organizer perspective from Arnie Graff. They both made me happy because seeing the stories of communities coming together to make positive change in the world just brought me a lot of joy. I'm a sucker for a community coming together to make things better. For the most beautiful cover that I've gotten this year, there's two. One is The Body Is Not an Apology. I just think that the butterfly and the woman lying on the butterfly is with flowers is just a beautiful cover. And then the other one is one that I just unboxed, which was the Widows of Malabar Hill. This one just has a lot of, gold and beautiful picture that actually is really accurate to the story. Oh, that's fireworks. Joy. And then there's just a lot of detailing throughout. Let's see if you can, throughout the book. And this book actually then contains also an interview, discussion questions, recipes, a little history on the woman that the protagonist is loosely based on. So this one takes first place for the most beautiful book. Last question, books that I need to read by the end of 2021. I want to read Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde. There's a really great review on this in one of Hey It's Shay's videos that I'll link down below, that really talks about the power of reading Audre Lorde in the full text versus just quotes that we share on the internet. That those are powerful, but that there's just so much more depth to that. So I want to read this, and then I also want to read James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. She also just reviews this one. Several people have talked about this. I know this is just a seminal work, really powerful and important. So this is my other book that I will read by the end of 2021. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't done the mid-year freakout tag yet and you'd like to, consider yourself tagged. Thanks again to Bob the Book Reader for tagging me, and for all of you for watching. Please, if you're interested, feel free to like, subscribe, or definitely comment below. I'd love to continue the conversation. And I hope you have a great day, and don't forget you're awesome.